Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Turin here with another Total War Warhammer live battlecast. In this particular game, we are going to play the Warriors of Chaos, and we're going to face off against Bretonnia, actually, so it should be fun. Let's go ahead and see, do we want to have some fun and get Prince SIGVALD? I think we do need to get him. Again, the Flying Goon Squad would probably be pretty good, and honestly, the Chaos Air Force right now can usually beat the Bretonnia, unless they just go ham and like spam Pegasus Knights, like a bunch of them in conjunction with Paladins. You'll usually win, but we're going to get Prince SIGVALD, kind of switch it up a little bit. We're also going to get a Chaos Sorcerer with the Lore of Death, so let's go ahead and just put him on this. So we want to put him on the Barded Steed. We'll probably put him on the faster one, so he can just get away if he does get caught. So we're going to get Doom and Darkness here. Probably don't want to get Aspect of the Dread Knight, although it's not bad, I hear, but I think we're just going to kind of try not to stretch our Winds of Magic too thin and hopefully do pretty well for ourselves. So on top of that, we're going to have a bit of a fun army. Not the most competitive, but we're going to get 3 Aspiring Champs. On top of that, we're going to get a bunch of Chaos Marauders. We're going to get several groups of Forsaken. They're very good against Bretonnia. So we're going very wide. So I don't know how it's going to work out, but hopefully well. We'll find out. Master Marauder Horsemen are okay. Again, they can skirmish a little bit with Bretonnia and Cav, but honestly, I don't know how I feel about them. Probably need a little bit more testing before I give that a try. So I could get Exalted Heroes. I mean, they're fairly resilient, but just the fact that, I don't know. I'm a little underwhelmed by them, as it pertains to kind of heroic units. I would love to get Trolls, but they're just terrible because all the Bretonnian Spears are going to really do well against them. So don't want to get Shaggoths. Dragon Ogres aren't terrible. They do have anti-large and armor piercing, so against like King Lewin Dive and things like that, they do pretty well. But against the Peasant Bowman Fire, I don't know how good Marauder Horsemen are going to be. So let's actually see here. Do I just want to go more infantry and just go ham? Oh man, guys, it's winding down here. So maybe we'll just get some Dragon Ogres here, and let's go ahead and just get some Master Marauder Horsemen, or just some Marauder Horsemen. Why not? We're just going full derpy right now, so we're just going to get a ridiculous army and hope it pans out. So the Master Marauder Horseman, or the Marauder Horsemen, did I get the Throwing Axe variant? I think I did. Okay. So essentially what we're going to use them for is hopefully our Forsaken can pressure the back line enough that they can kind of, or we can break through the front line using Forsaken and Marauders, and Lore of Death and things like that, and just kind of collapse from there. And then, if he does, go after my heroic units with Lewin and things like that, then I can kind of pull the Master Marauder Horsemen from the back line. I'm going to use them very defensively and try and snipe out his Lord. So just kind of theory crafting different builds right now, because again, if I really was just playing competitively, I would just get 2 Manticores, a Lore of Death, Chaos Lord with potions, then just spam Forsaken, and just be obnoxious like that. Because it's very hard for Bretonnia to deal with Mass Forsaken already with their infantry, and their Cav with the new DLC coming out, they're going to be really competitive for sure. I think they're just going to have so many new tools at their disposal, different builds, massive AOE kind of buffs with the Reliquary, a lot of cool stuff for sure. But for now, like, they're so linear that it's very hard. You can counterpick Bretonnia because they have such little diversity. So again, just spam Forsaken, get Manticores, and their Cav are just going to be so subpar that honestly they can't really even do that well against. Grail Knights are good, but they're so expensive. And I don't think they're immune to psychology either. I wonder if there's any way we can check right now. So can we look at units here? No, we can only look at spells and lores. So, but Lore of Death, quite good against Bretonnia for sure. I actually like it quite a bit. So, cool. Yeah. So let's have some fun, guys. Our opponent's loading in, and looking forward to this new DLC though. So I think it comes out Tuesday night, which is a huge bummer because I want to stream for you guys. I'll be streaming on Sunday most likely, but also I'll probably try and stream the day the Bretonnia DLC comes out. So unfortunately for a lot of you folks in Europe, it'll be probably around 6 or 7 p.m. my time, so it'll be like 3 or 4 in the morning for you guys. But at least you guys will have the video for after the fact. But I'll probably do a pretty ham stream, do a giveaway, all that kind of fun stuff. So, all right, let's do it to it. Let's have some fun. Let's get down to business here. So I like using Marauders. Like, they're a fun unit. They're also really fast. They actually have 35 move speed. So as it pertains to like infantry, they're pretty quick. Aspiring Champs are just such a cool unit. Chaos has a pretty fun roster. I mean, they do kind of suffer from the Bretonnia syndrome right now, where they're a little limited, but I mean, they're nowhere near as bad as Bretonnia's limitation. So we're gonna put this guy here, and we have to be careful because a King Lewin snipe could be really threatening here. So we're gonna put this guy in group 2, kind of group up like that, and get these Marauder Horsemen here, and just put them back there. So these are kind of be our anti-harass. They do have armor piercing missiles, and 30 weapon strength isn't terrible. So we need to make sure to put them in skirmish mode also before we forget. But so if he doesn't have enough Cav, for example, I mean, Forsaken just absolutely annihilate all Bretonnian infantry. So if he doesn't, what I like to do with Bretonnia against, the Forsaken spam is, keep some, relatively, low tier Cav. You can get Knights of the Realm, Pegasus Knights, and use them defensively to plug up each flank. Because again, cycle charging Forsaken is very effective. They have fairly low HP. I mean, the Chaos Marauders have 5,800, and Forsaken actually have 4,800. Granted, they have 30 less models, but still, that HP pool can get drained pretty quick. So King Lewin, not King Lewin, King SIGVALD. Now he's only a prince, unfortunately for him. him. He does have the auric armor, so he's not the best, but he does have charge defense against all. So if you just stand him still, he can take quite a few charges. Dragon Ogres in conjunction with Lore of Death, that's quite a bit of burst damage, and hopefully these Master Marauder Horsemen, or I keep calling them that, but Marauder Horsemen can do pretty well. The Masters unfortunately don't have armor piercing, so and I'm just using them to deal with Bretonnian leadership. And worst case scenario, I can charge peasants with these guys. I mean, they don't have the best combat stats, but they do have 24 weapon strength, so I suppose it could be much worse, right? So pretty standard Bretonnian army. It looks like he does have Knights of the Realm in the back, which is really good for him. I think that's smart. I like the Knights of the Realm pick against the Forsaken spam. So we might actually just charge Forsaken like straight up the pipes, and hopefully we can mitigate. Like if I just had an Air Force right now, I could just go kill King Lewin. I could just fly in there, pressure him, and the Peasant Bowman wouldn't even be able to do anything. So again, that build is certainly more competitive, but we're just trying out different things here. So looks like he is coming forward, so we do need to be pretty active with our missile cav back here. We don't want to keep them in Peasant Bowman fire. We want to keep them like back, and then when he dives in and commits to something with King Lewin, that's when we go after him. So King Lewin does have heals though, so it's not like going to be a complete cakewalk, but hopefully we can overcast a little bit of Doom and Darkness and kind of route his front line. And honestly, we might just use the Forsaken and just collapse his front line and just do our best there. So we do have shields on our infantry. They're just bronze shields, but still, he actually has a ton of missiles, I think. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does he have 5 groups of archers? So that's quite a bit. That's a not an expensive investment, but it's an investment. That's a little bit risky because again, that's a lot of resources you have to protect. So we're actually going to do a little bit of fancy footwork here. So we're going to fan these guys out, pull these Forsaken in here, pull these ones in here, and just kind of go up the pipe with most of our troops here. So we should be fine because the Forsaken in the front line are going to be really, really good. So we're going to pull these Aspiring Champs as well and just get these guys ready, as well. Yeah, and we do want to pull like one out and around here. He's obviously just going to run them down with Knights of the Realm, which is fine. We're also going to keep these Dragon Ogres right here and just kind of deal with his flying threats. We're taking a ton of missile fire, but thankfully all that missile fire, guys, is all on top of Marauders, which is great. So let's go ahead and push in here. Let's get these Aspiring Champs here. We want to spread the Aspiring Champs out as evenly as we can among his battle lines here. So you can see the Knights of the Realm already kind of going over there. So we might actually send the Dragon Ogres over that way and just keep these guys here. Let's get Prince Sigvald going up the mid line, and he's pretty nice for like encouragement purposes. So you can see the Knights of the Realm coming. So we might actually just pull back in here, and the Dragon Ogres here, they should be able to help. So we're going to commit with those Forsaken and just eat that charge like a champ. Pull these guys in here. We're going to get the Lore of Death, and let's go ahead and start off with like a huge Soul Blight here because they're taking some pretty serious shock from those Forsaken. You can see the Dragon Ogre is also taking some missile fire as well. So we're going to just posture up here, and he's being really conservative with his Lord. So we're going to just kind of park in here, see where we're collapsing, and just send these Forsaken in the front line here. So Prince Sigvald, let's go ahead and use the encouragement and stand your ground. We are going to start getting some decent fire right now on King Lewin. So the Dragon Ogre is doing a really good job so far. Let's actually overcast the Doom and Darkness right here, which should honestly break the leadership of a lot of these units who are already shaken. And King Lewin is taking some Throwing Axe fire, which is good. So we're going to use these Forsaken on guard duty here. And let's also we're being like really, really kind of not spammy, but yeah. So he charges at my Sorcerer, which is fine. And then we have these Throwing Axes to kind of pressure him, which is really good. And let's also pull these Forsaken. Sigvald, he's a little bit slow to kind of get over there and do as I need. But let's actually pull these Aspiring Champs over here as well. So we're able to do pretty good. Let's pull back just a little bit like that and just keep focusing with King Lewin. So we're doing pretty good at focusing him with those Marauder Horsemen. You can see they did some pretty substantial damage. So my opponent's front line actually held up pretty well against the Lord of Death. And let's pull these guys back here, pull these guys in here, and just get that Chaos Sorcerer over there helping out. So a lot of good work from those guys. And we do have this Paladin isolated. So now that the missile fire is kind of de-aggroed, let's go ahead and pull these Forsaken up and around here. Just keep not King Lewin, or King Sigvald. I keep calling him that. That's going to be his new nickname, I bet. But yeah, these guys are just going to kite, which is fine. And we can focus King Lewin with this other group. Let's go ahead and Spirit Leech him as well. And Sigvald is pretty resilient. That regeneration is really going to allow him to take a beating for sure. But that Peasant Bowman fire is just so good right now. So we're going to get these Forsaken over here. And yeah, his front line is actually doing really well against mine, which is unfortunate. But we're actually able to get King Lewin with those Throwing Axes, and we kill him with the Spirit Leech. So pretty good. The Master Marauder Horsemen doing their job. And I don't know why they stop kiting. Sometimes they do. But Prince Sigvald, we just need to keep him in the front line and just try and keep our guys from mass routing essentially. So we're going to get these guys going here, have them start focusing Knights of the Realm. And these guys are doing a great job at dealing with Paladins and things like that. So a bit of an unorthodox build. The Dragon Ogres, let's go ahead and bring them back over here. We did get some Forsaken back in here. So at this point, though, I don't know how much longer the Peasant Blob is going to last. So we're actually going to save up Winds of Magic and see if we can, get some good results out of that. So probably want to, yeah, we have plenty of ammunition, so we can be pretty liberal with these guys. So let's actually have them chase after that Paladin. And I think, yeah, with this Blob, though, and having my leadership here, I don't know if he's going to be able to kind of survive all that. So we're just going to keep pushing back. We're going to use the Dragon Ogres here. Or are these Knights of the Realm broken? So they are. So we can just go after the Peasants then. So we have 7 Winds of Magic, not too much. So once we get a little bit more, we should be able to do some good stuff here. So he does have a lot of guys routing, so I might honestly just start using these guys and charging up the hill, just kind of going after all these missile units. And, you know, I think that fighting was over there for a little while, and I was a little bit slow on kind of getting them moving again. So we'll get these guys fighting here. The Dragon Ogre should be able to polish those guys off, and Prince Sigvald and the boys should be able to kind of, you know, regroup and everything. So we don't want to be too wild with these guys. You know, we'll go ahead and put them back in ranged here. And it looks like he does come in with his Paladin, I think. So we'll have our Master Marauder Horseman. Our Marauder Horseman. I just can't get that right tonight, guys. I don't know what's going on with me here, but we're just going to get those guys going there, and they should do a pretty good job. So let's get some of our missile troops here. We'll get these guys going over here, and we do have some Knights of the Realm coming back as well. So, but yeah, these guys are actually doing really good, these Marauder Horsemen. I mean, you can see they focus down Paladins, they focus down King Lewin. It's pretty good value all around. So let's get these Aspiring Champs and have them go after this Peasant Bowman. Just make sure everyone's in good fighting situations here. But not too many missile troops left. I think we've crumbled most of his army. Master Marauder Horseman just punishing that Paladin. Look at that. That's just great. I mean, they were able to kite a lot of, you know, high value units. Dragon Ogres did okay. Very well played to my opponent for sure for like focusing down with missiles. And my apologies if my micro seems a little off. I'm kind of having some issues with my hand, so having to click a little bit slower than usual. But hopefully you guys don't mind. You still think I'm cool. We're doing our thing here. We're getting this Paladin down. We're just going to focus him here with these Marauder Horsemen. Again, those armor-piercing missiles doing pretty good. So definitely fun using some of these off-meta builds. Prince Sigvald, you know, he took that beating from Lewin like a champ. I mean, obviously Lewin's going to pimp slap him in a straight-up fight, but yeah, look at those throwing axes. They're doing really good work and just absolutely shattering that guy. So well played to my opponent. It was pretty fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the build. Let's go ahead and take a look at the breakdown here. But yeah, the Marauders, I mean, you saw they took some seriously hard volleys from those missiles in the beginning. So that was good. Aspiring Champs did their job. Forsaken, you get a lot of utility out of them because you can see I pressured the flanks, then he responded with those knights, and I either was able to choose to engage like I did on the one side and support with the Dragon Ogres, and then the other side was actually able to pull back. So pretty good there. And also the Marauder Horsemen, very good at dealing with King Lewin, because King Lewin, you know, he definitely has a hard on for taking out like casters and things like that. So you just kind of wait for him to come in, and Spirit Leech in conjunction with all those throwing axes is going to be very, very strong. So well played to my opponent, Horus. Look forward to seeing you again on Ladder Bud. I hope you guys enjoyed that game. So again, stay tuned. I'll be doing a Bretonnia stream this next week. As soon as it's released, I'll just, you know, and I get home from work, I'm just going to go ham and probably stream like all night. So you guys will have plenty of Bretonnia content. I'm looking forward to actually facing them. It's going to, sometimes when new DLC comes out, it's one of my favorite things to do is just face those bad boys and kind of figure out how to beat them. But thanks again, guys, for your support, and stay tuned. Have an excellent night and take care.